Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out MTGRocks.com. My name is Alan. Today we're going to be looking at some Historic. Historic Horizons is just around the corner, and so I figured that one thing that we can do is take a look at a deck that's going to get some upgrades from Historic Horizons, and we'll play the deck pre-Historic Horizons, and then we'll revisit it post-Historic Horizons release, and then see how the deck fares in the new metagame. So the deck that we're going to be looking at today is Gruul Bardstorm. So with Bardstorm, our main focus is to get down one of these guys here, Bard class. So with Bard class, it says that legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on them, an additional one. And then when you level it up to level 2, it reduces the mana cost of legendary spells that we cast by a red and a green, which we'll be looking to abuse pretty heavily. And then the storm element comes in when we look at level 3. When level 3 is for 5 mana, we level it up, and then it says whenever we cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of our library, and then we get to play them this turn. So our goal is to try to get one of these Bard classes down nice and early, get it leveled up to level 3, and then from there we can start to quote-unquote storm off, right? So what we're going to do is, well, we have a couple of legends that cost green and red alone. So with Gallia of the Endless Dance and then Targnarg, Demon Fang Null are basically free, right? They're entirely free because of the second level of Bard class. And then with Burgi, God of Storytelling, we get to make an additional red mana whenever we cast a spell. So that's just going to help us allow us to cast a lot of our 3 mana legends for free. So we get Domri Raid, or Domri Anarch of Bolas, Grim Gully, Klothys, Rada, Heart of Keld, and then we also have things like Grand Warlord Rada and Samit as well, kind of to round everything out. And then also one legendary spell that we have in addition to is Mox Amber, which is free. So with Burgi out, this is going to net us 1 mana. So we get to tap our Mox Amber for mana, and then play this one, get a mana from Burgi, and then we get to tap this for another mana, so we just start to generate a bunch of mana. The most mana that we're ever going to actually have to spend once we have a fully leveled up Bard class on anything is 3 mana. So Samit, Voice of Dissent, really is the only thing. Since red and green are reduced, we only just pay 3 colorless for this spell. Now, our goal and the reason why we call this Storm is that we try to play as many of these spells as possible. We just get a full board of legendary creatures that are really big. Even if we have to recast duplicates of them, we just keep ones that are out there, and we get to get 2 more cards off the top of our deck. And then we play Samit to give everything haste and then close the game out in one fell swoop. And we can do this all in one turn. We're not playing very many lands here, so it is something that, there's only, I think, 23 lands in this deck. So it is something where, 23 lands. So it is something that we can pretty reliably get through the deck with. So we have also tons of other ways to help us generate mana. So this is a really, really cool kind of storm combo finish. Now for the sideboard, we have a Grafdigger's Cage to deal, a couple of Grafdigger's Cages here to deal with graveyard shenanigans. We also have a Braids to deal with artifacts and creatures. Scavenging is also for graveyards. Anger of the Gods for more clear. Chandra's Torture of Defiance to deal with like either a bigger creature or for control. Klothys to deal with more graveyard stuff. Fry to deal with blue and white planeswalkers to fairy, things like that. Now, that's pretty straightforward. Now, what does this deck get in the new set? So, really, the big things that we get in the new set, we get Ave, Progenitor Ooze, which is a storm creature from from Modern Horizons. So it's 2 triple green for a 2/2, and it has Storm. And it says Ave, Progenitor Ooze is not legendary if it's not a token, if it's a token. And then when it enters the battlefield, with a +1/+1 counter for each other ooze you control. So ultimately what we want to try to do here is we cast a bunch of spells, cast a bunch of creatures, cast an Ave off the top of our library, and then Ave just makes, goes really wide. We get a bunch of Aves, and then we also still probably finish off with Samut to give everything haste. Alternatively, we could play something like Chatterstorm. We could play something like Grape Shot as well. We have some options as well, but Ave kind of fits the deck the best because it's legendary. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop into some games and on the ladder, play this one and see how we do. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys in the games. All right, game one of our Bardstorm Historic games. And we're on the draw. This is a hand that we cannot keep. We don't have a Bard class. And only one land, so yeah, we're gonna have to ship this one here. This one looks much better. Bard classes, redundancy here. We have some legends and Samut. I think we can probably just safely ship this Samut back because we really honestly just want to have it in the deck. And depending on what our opponent's doing, keeping Bard, a second Bard class, probably don't need to do it. I guess if our opponent is discard, which it looks like they may entirely very well be. That could have been a bad throwback. Thoughtseize. Let's see what our opponent decides they want to take. They probably maybe can take... Okay, they do take Bard class, so they know what's going on. Not great. Ooh, Grixis. Okay. Very interesting. Interesting here. I think we're just gonna start by running out Esika. This Esika is probably not long for this world. Yeah, figure Murderous Rider. This looks like it's just like a Grixis control type of deck. So I think we'll just start by playing Klothys here. We can start negating some of the damage that this Murderous Rider is going to be doing, and it looks like our opponent is a little bit stuck on lands here. Probably going to take... okay, there's no real good choice here. These really aren't huge deals, I suppose. A second Domri's not great for us. I guess we can just play this Domri and tick it up. Hopefully it sticks around and we can play a Samut next turn. Opponent looks like they scryed something at the top, so they might have a land here. Looks like that's the case. Okay, so Murderous Rider again. Okay, Burgie's pretty good actually. I do like Burgie. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play Burgie here. This is a fine blocker. All right, Scryed in the bottom, which is good. Assuming your opponent wants to find like another land or something. Looks like they're just gonna draw a card off of their Maya's Mind Tome. Okay, so not very impactful here from our opponent. Now this is actually not too bad, so we'll just exile this Esika. We'll go ahead and get this Bard class down. Or get the we get the Samut down here. Samut's probably pretty good. It's double striking. This lets us fight. I guess Domri lets us fight. I guess they know about the Samut, so I guess we'll just start here with the Samut. And we'll I guess we just attack with both here, right? Because if they double... Okay, they're not... So they are singular blocking here. That's fine. Cool. So going to our turn. So Languish, pretty good against us. That was a pretty good draw. Still scrying to the bottom, so they're not finding anything exciting. And we'll just continue. We'll just play this Domri. Really what this comes down to is that we should have just kept the second Bard class for redundancy. Okay, Nicol Bolas. We can safely exile a land here. I don't think we need too much more in regard to lands. Rada's a good hit, though. We'll get rid of the Essica. Play a Rada. Play a land off the top. And pass the turn. So what's nice here is that we do have a Lair of the Hydra on top of our deck, so this is going to be good to allow us to actually just chip in for a bunch of damage, which is nice. And we can't even fight this Nicol Bolas. We can actually play this, turn this on, and then fight the Nicol Bolas, which is lovely. We'll just get rid of Domri here, deal some damage. Okay, so green 1 2 3 4 5, perfect. So we can turn this on for 5. Oop, not 6. Turn this on for 5. Domri lets our Lair fight, and we'll end the turn there. That works out for us pretty nicely. Now we'll exile another forest here. We don't need very much to honestly get through. We don't need much. Okay, more lands are good. So 5 here. We'll go up for 5 again. So it'll be a 6/5, so we can try to see if we can get in. Maybe there's some removal. Okay, so Shark Typhoon. That's good. We forced them to use a Typhoon. They are drawing a lot of cards, though. And we'll just keep doing this. So in this case, we're gonna need a +4 for this, and we're gonna have to go in for Hydra again. Give it another go, see if we can't get there this time. -8, -8, and gain 8 life. That's rather unfortunate. This game's going way too long for my liking. Get rid of Stomping Ground. Yeah, and at this point, I think it's going to be a pretty tough sell to win the game here. We're pretty far behind. if we can find a way to turn this Klothys on, then we might be in business. We might be in shape. More air. Okay, so more Erebos' intervention. That's nice. Opponent is just drawing 1,000,001 cards, which isn't great. And we continue to draw more and more lands. All right, we're gonna go ahead, concede, and go to game 2 here. As far as things that we necessarily care about in this deck, I mean, truthfully, Klothys kind of helps us grind a bit, but it's not critically important, I don't think, to have that. I think Chandra's just more important. And we'll cut one Esika. Otherwise, that's about it, I think. We'll go ahead and run this back. Okay, his hand's not bad. It's just that if they have a Thoughtseize, then we're in trouble. Doesn't look like that's the case, so we're gonna get Bard class down, so that's always a good sign. Grimgully's great. So we'll just start with leveling up Bard class and then see if we can play Domri. Great. And then we'll add a mana for Domri and play a Grimgully. And pass the turn. Next turn we can actually level up Bard class entirely, which is great. So we'll plus with Domri, level up Bard class to level 3. And we'll just get in there for 5. Let's just see if our opponent's got anything to do here. Okay, so cycles a shark for 1. Not 100% great for our opponent here. But now we can hopefully get to go off. If we can... Okay, this is good, right? So we can play our land. We can tick up Domri. Now, creature spells can't be countered. So what we're going to start with is Esika. We'll get some cards. Great. Gallia's perfect. That's a free card. Keep going. Get some more. Play a Trogdor. And then next, I think we'll play another Domri. We'll get 2 more. And opponent scoops it up. All right, so they see the writings on the wall. They know what's going on. So cool. And that's basically what happens. That's the power of Bard class. I guess Fries are pretty good here against Nicol Bolas, probably on the draw. Yeah, those are probably pretty decent. So I think I don't mind trimming another Esika and maybe a Grand Warlord Rata and run it back like that. Now this deck can play a kind of a more aggressive style of game where we just attack. We just play like these guys and just attack a bunch if we don't happen to storm off. This hand's not terrible. We can get a Gallia down, play a Mox Amber, and get to go into Chandra. I kind of like it. Okay, Thoughtseize, saw that was coming. Probably takes the Chandra if I had to guess. Okay, takes Targnar. So we'll play Gallia, I guess. Play Mox Amber. And we'll play Chandra and see if our opponent's got a counterspell for it. Nope. Sticks around, so we're gonna go ahead, we'll plus and just deal a couple damage to our opponent. I wouldn't be surprised if they have, okay, well that's the shark. That's fine, I suppose. We drew a lot of lands in this one here though. Effectively 7. Okay, Nicol Bolas. That's fine. We'll discard a Stomping Ground. Chandra's perfect. We'll kill the Nicol Bolas. Play a land. Play another Chandra. Keep the new Chandra and plus. We can't play the Bard class, sadly. Sadly, it's we don't have the mana for it. Nicol Bolas Dragon God, sure. So you're gonna -3 kill our Chandra, sure, that's fine. We're just continue to draw lands. A second Nicol Bolas Dragon God, that's lovely. Destroys Gallia. Draw a Haster. Bard class isn't bad. That's actually not a terrible one. So we'll level up Bard class to level 2. And then just hope we run well in drawing some legendaries. Mazemind Tome. Spends their mana on there. So we need to draw a legendary creature. Okay, that's not a legendary creature. Okay, we're starting to get there. We just need to not draw any more lands. That'd be great. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lands off the top of our deck. This is pretty crazy. More Bard class, not exactly what we need. I guess we'll just level up Bard class, I guess. If we happen to find a legendary creature, I mean, if we can level this up again to level 3 again, cast it, and we get 4 cards, which would be pretty great. Okay, so they do get themselves a Chandra. Okay, they can't cast that Nicol Bolas, which is great for us. Come on, legendary creature, one time. Gallia, something, anything. More land. We've drawn an absurd number of lands this game. Like far more than we should. At 23 lands, we've drawn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands to 1, 2. I guess I'm gonna count Mox Amber technically as a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells. So we've drawn a lot. We're due for an actual creature. If we don't die this turn, we may have a pretty decent shot at being okay. We have spells to cast. We can cast spells assuming we just don't whiff. Okay, Nicol Bolas, that's fine. Opponent's tapped out, so we have a shot. We have a chance here. Okay, that's good. All right, Domri, Bard class. Opponent's got nothing, so they can't actually get us going here. So we're gonna go make a green, make a red. Okay, wow, I think we might actually win this game. Okay, so we're gonna play Mox Amber. Get a couple more cards. We gotta keep in mind that we have 33 cards left in the deck. All right, Fry is good to deal with this. So let's play Grim Gully. Get a couple more cards. We'll cast Fry, kill the Nicol Bolas. So we don't need to do too much more here, right? We only need to get to 10, which I guess realistically, Samut is enough to get to 10. Oh, I need to get more because they can gain 4 off of this. So yeah, there we go. And we got there. So we had enough. We found what we needed in time. They couldn't seal the game away. So cool. Nice. Good start for the deck. Okay, round 2 for Historic Bardstorm. And this hand looks great, honestly. We have a Bard class, we have a Burgi, we have a Klothys, we have a bunch of mana. I think this is the kind of hand I like to see. Just hopefully our opponent's not doing anything too crazy here. Okay, Concealed Courtyard. Interesting set of lands here. Unless this can be Niv. Some Mardu lands. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe this is Niv. What is happening? Okay, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and level up Bard class. And we'll play Klothys. Could this be Niv? It's weird. Okay, so we'll play another land here. We will play Burgi. And Asika. And I guess we'll just attack with Klothys. And pass the turn. So this is, I mean, if this is Niv, okay, Wrath. I guess that's fine. We'll just get rid of the Wrath. Okay, so this has to be something like a Niv style deck. So we'll just go ahead, we'll take the turn off, we'll level up Bard class to 3. And then we have Asika and Samut to be, okay, opponent just didn't have anything. So we'll just get rid of our own Asika. And we'll start with our own Asika. Go a couple cards deep. We'll play Rada. Great, Grimgully's perfect. Play Grimgully. Play Trognar. Play Samut and say GG, opponent. Nice. Bardstorm. Getting it. Ooh, easy game. Cool. All right. So I don't know what we're fighting against. I have no clue. We didn't see anything other than Wrath of God, so I would venture to say that it's probably some kind of Niv-Mizzet, maybe some Niv-Mizzet weird deck. I don't know what we're fighting against, so we're just gonna run it back like this until we can get more information. But that's the power of Bardstorm right there, man. Straight up, our board got Wrath. We took a turn off to turn Bard class into level 3, and then we just went off the next turn just without remorse. And again, when we start Bard classing, when we start getting level 3 Bard class, the deck it doesn't really whiff all that often. We see a ton of cards. So this hand, it's pretty aggressive. We have Gallia into Mox Amber. If we were to find something like, if we were to find a Bard class on our draw step, I would be much happier. But again, we still have no clue what our opponent's playing. Okay, it's got to be Niv. Okay, so this has to be Niv. All right. Cool. So we'll just go ahead. We'll just jam our Gallia, play Mox Amber. Now, if we can just kill our opponent before they get too out of hand, then we're in shape. It takes them a few turns to set up, I think. So they're spending their turn expressive iterationing and stuff like that. We're in pretty good shape. Okay, so we'll just play Domri here. Just tick up Domri and get in there. This is safe to Wrath of God. Since we only have one creature. Okay, Thoughtseize. Probably looks to take maybe Burgi or Errata. Okay, so it takes Burgi. I guess nothing wrong with that. And expressive iterations again. Do they find a land? Okay, so they do find a swamp. Okay, so Trognar, Trogdor. Alright, so we're gonna add a red mana. My assumption is that they have a Niv in hand. So we're gonna play Errata first. And just try to get in there. And we'll add a green and a red mana to our pool. And then I think I just maybe, so if they have Wrath of God, then we're in trouble. Then we get blown out. If they don't have Wrath of God and they have Niv, then that's not great either. I think we're just going to be mana efficient. We'll play this Targnar and say go. We have, I guess, a Gallia with haste. If this board gets Wrath, we can jam for 3. Okay, Cling to Dust's our Burgi. I guess that's fine. Okay, so it looks like they were checking their mana for Niv, and there it is. Okay, very good. So what do they find with the Niv? Krasis, Helix, Veto. Okay, that's fine. That's all they can do, right, on this turn. So I think we have a pretty good shot here. Grumgully's a little too late at this point, I would say. If this was a land, that would have been much better. So I think we're just gonna plus, make a green mana. We're gonna double Targnar's power. And yeah, we'll discard a card. Okay, we got some land, so that's good. 2 red and a green, that's fine. Okay, cool. Opponent scoops it up. They see the writing on the wall. Yeah, they're dead either way. They're just straight dead. So GG's. Nice. Cool. On to the next one. All right, game 3 of Bard class in Historic. So far we're 2-0, and first round was pretty close. We got to go off one time, and then we had to fight back on the second one. And then in the round 2, it wasn't close. We stormed off game 1, and game 2 we just kind of overwhelmed our opponent with creatures. Now, as far as this hand goes, so our opponent is playing Gigantha. So my assumption is that, so it's either going to be control or it's going to be sacrifice. I don't think this hand is good enough to beat either of those. I think we want to get online fast and go. This hand, on the other hand, I kind of like. We can get down a bit earlier. We have some haste. We can ramp a little bit. And we'll just ship the Samut. I think we're okay with this. We'll know in a second what our opponent's on. So it looks like they are going to be playing, yep, Sacrifice. So that's fine. Second Mox Amber can actually... isn't terrible, honestly. Second Mox Amber lets us get some Rampage going. We do really want to find Bard class, though. That would be the ideal card to draw, because we know that they're not really going to be able to deal with it too heavily. Okay, another Rada, so not amazing there. So we'll play a Gallia. Guess we'll just jam for 2, play a Mox Amber, and say go. Okay, Mayhem Devil. Not great, so I mean that means our Gallia is dead. So we do need to draw another land. Not ideal. Which that is not. Okay. We could be very dead very early in this game. Okay, Trail of Crumbs. And passes. So Gallia is just sent to die effectively. Gallia being sent to die is not great. We do need to draw something. Okay, Binding of the Old Gods, not great for us. We got to see that. So we kind of know exactly what is in store for us, and there's no way, I don't think we live long enough to even get Bard class online, so we're just going to scoop it up here, go to the next game. Okay, so with this, I think Anger of the Gods is absolutely crucial. Cage, absolutely crucial. Clothis and Scavenging Ooze, all incredibly important here. So we're going to go down... we're going to go down Rada, Heart of Keld. Go down the Esikas. We'll go down a Samut, and we'll go down a Domri, and I guess a Targnar, and run it like that, I think. The unfortunate thing about this deck is that the more you have to board for your matches, the less likely you are to go off. Now this hand looks incredible. We get to go turn 2 Bard class into turn 3 level up Bard class Grim Gully Targnar, and I think we should be in incredible shape from there. Okay, Witch's Oven for our opponent. And Mox Amber is great too. Cool, so level up Bard class, play Grim Gully, play a Mox Amber, play Targnar, and say go. That's explosive right there. I mean, they could have removal, some kind of removal here, but Scavenging Ooze. Okay, opponent scoops it up. They see the writing on the wall. They can't compete with this. Okay, so I guess we'll just go to game 3 now. On the draw in game for game 3, I feel like a Braid is not terrible either to deal with a Mayhem Devil or a Witch's Oven. So we're gonna go down a Gallia. We'll probably cut 1 Anger here as well, and we'll run it like that. And this hand is incredible. Well, yeah, just Bard class into Grumgully into, and we also have Anger of the Gods. We can just run out if we need to. We also have Gallia. That's perfect. So turn 3 is Bard class, level up, Grumgully, Gallia. Yeah, this hand is absolutely stellar. Now, I guess if we run into Binding of the Old Gods here, opponent goes, kills our Bard class or something, that's fine. We have Anger. We can... Okay, so it looks like that's not what's happening here. Okay, so I think our opponent is pretty dead. So we'll go level up Bard class, play Grumgully, play Gallia. Okay, they're gonna Witch's Oven sack and Fatal Push the Grumgully. Okay, I mean, I guess that's fine. It's not amazing, but just get in there. So next turn, assuming that our Gallia lives, we can Bard class level 3. And then we just need to draw a legend and we're in business. We can storm off. Claim the Firstborn, not great. So they're gonna get to sack that off. Unfortunate. Okay, so our opponent's got 1 card in hand. We can come back from this. Anger's pretty good. I think we just run this out now. So this turns off the possibility of a land letting our opponent play the Corvold that's in their hand or something. So they're on a little bit slower of a burn here, which is fine. I think then this is... Okay, Woe Strider seems okay. We have another Anger to deal with that. Gallia's great. So we'll just go Anger. Let's just start there. Opponent is bottoming a bunch of cards here. I think we do need to get this Scavenging Ooze down next turn. Just hopefully we aren't dead. Okay, so we get to play Gallia. We can play Scavenging Ooze. And we'll get in there. So the cat comes back. So opponent's got 1 card in hand. I mean, they're looping pretty heavily here. Hopefully we can get 1 more turn out of this. Okay, a Braid. Okay, looks like we're gonna get another turn. We just need a legendary creature. It's not a legendary creature. All right, we're gonna level up. And we just need to hold back here, unfortunately. I mean, we can't... We just need to draw 1 legendary creature. I think we maybe have 1 more turn. Our opponent's got... That's on top deck mode. So we just need to claim the Firstborn. Good game, opponent. Nice top decks. Oh well, I think that we had our opponent. I'd love to be able to see what we would have drawn here. Like, I would have loved to be able to see what we would have drawn, because if our opponent's top deck was just like a land or anything else, literally anything else, honestly, maybe not Mayhem Devil or something, like if anything that was, lets us live a turn, we might have been able to win just on the spot there. But oh well, not a big deal. All right, let's go to the wrap up. So what do we think about Historic Bardstorm? I absolutely love this deck. This deck's super fun. It goes really fast. We can get some quick games in, and as we saw in our matches, I mean, once we storm off, it's really hard to miss. The hard part's just getting there, but if we can get there, and we did see it did happen pretty consistently. It's not, something that we can't, it's a pipe dream to get to. We can get there pretty consistently, and if we get there, it's great. But if we don't, we can just play our creatures and just get in there with some big damage and some big threats and win the game that way, right? We have, in our sideboard really helped us out a lot in games, but really ultimately if we can get to Bardstorm, if we get to Storm off, we're not losing that game. But yeah, I would definitely recommend you give this one a shot. This deck I think definitely is going to get a little bit better with Historic Horizons coming out. We do get to have, Ave, like I mentioned, as another finisher. We have other options as well, like Chatterstorm, or again we already have Grape Shot in here as well. So we have some options as far as keeping ourselves diverse in our finishing threats. But we'll have to definitely see how this deck plays out once Historic Horizons releases on August 12th, which is in a couple of weeks, so not too far away. So let me know what you guys think about this one. If you've played a Bardstorm deck, whether it be in Historic or in Modern, let me know what you thought about it. How did you have a good time with the deck? What's your win rates with it? What are you thinking about? Is there anything changes you would make to this, or cards from Historic Horizons other than the ones that we mentioned that you would maybe want to look to include in here? But thank you guys again so much for watching. Make sure you guys go check out the article over on mtgrocks.com. Again, my name is Alan. We'll see you guys in the next one.